the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to this January 21st Board of Commissioners meeting on this frigid morning. First item is public comment. Do I have anyone here for the public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move right into it. I have Renee Crick with her Central Dispatch year-end report. Good morning, Renee.
Good morning. I will make this quick because I know some of you have already had to listen to me go through this when I did the council meeting last week. So I always just want to go through Kevin each year, which you probably know from being a former county department head. Like, I always try to do a year-end report and just to give some stats and things of what we did over the previous year. So during 2024, we dispatched a total of 34,307 calls for service, and that's police, fire, and EMS. Any call for service that we dispatch someone on, we add a call for. We entered a total of 11,388 traffic stops, which is up over 17% from the year before, and those are traffic stops for Sheriff's Office, City Police, and Town Marshals. The statewide 911 board funds a programming for tracking all of our total 911 calls and administrative calls. And previously, they had used a program called ECATS. In April, they switched to a different program called 911 Logics. So in all of those reports that I sent you, I forwarded both reports, ECATS, because ECATS is still functioning throughout the year as well, but I sent those reports, both programs, to you. We received a total of 13,075 911 calls, and we handled 24,661 administrative calls. Our PSAP answer time, which is something that is very important. It is always looked at when fire services go to do their insurance ratings. One of those things that I have to report is our answer time for 911 calls, and 99% of the time we answer those calls in 10 seconds or less. We sent a total of 1,044 texts from 911, and we received 70 texts to 911. And again, the texty communication is great for the hearing impaired. Some people, it's not safe for them to place that voice call to 911, so this gives them another opportunity to be able to get emergency services by texting. Throughout 23, we had to prepare for the eclipse that was coming last year. So in preparation of the eclipse, it offered us an opportunity to write an actual communications plan, and that was completed. As you know, we made it through the eclipse that day with very minimal issues other than some traffic after it was over with. 2024 for us was a year of change and growth. The year started with filling the assistant director's position with Chris Guajardo. He stepped into this role tremendously, and he's a breath of fresh air for me and a lot of good ideas, fresh ideas, and he and I make a great team, and so I'm looking forward to continuing to work with him and grow our department. One of the first things we did on our agenda last year was to start revamping our training program and our new hiring process. Chris has put together a 2-week classroom, so any new hire will go through those 2 weeks, and it just sets them up for success before they go to the floor with a trainer. It's a lot of computer work, it's listening to calls, things, what to expect, doing some actual practicing of traffic stops, radio, talking on the radio in a practice environment. Just to help them, kind of have an idea of what to expect before they go to the trainer. And it really gives them a good foundation to start with. The second was our 2024 remodel, and I'm pleased to say we are thrilled with how it all turned out. We kind of put the brakes on and made sure that we got everything that we wanted to in this to take us well into the future. In the spring, with the assistance of the county grant writer, Chris and I applied for our first ever grant, and we definitely, it was a team effort between the three of us, but we did get awarded the grant for $86,798, so we are excited about that. We've actually placed the order for the equipment of portable radios and laptops for that. So we are excited to hopefully get those in the near future. So finally, in late summer, we invested in Frontline Public Safety Solutions. Frontline offers innovative software solutions to help enhance our operations and improve efficiency. We have 3 different programs that we utilize with Frontline. We use the training tracker, we use the DOR tracker, which is daily observation reporting, and that is something that we utilize for our training for each new employee as they go through the training process. And then QA tracker, which is our quality assurance. So Chris reviews 911 calls and makes sure that all of those calls are being handled as they should be. And it's just part of, making sure that we're doing everything that we need to be doing as a department. So again, like I tell you every year, I'm thankful for all of the staff that we have. It's not a job for everyone, not at all. And we have a great group, and I'm really pleased with the ones that have stuck with us through thick and thin, and we have a lot of great new hires that we hired this past year, and looking forward to continuing our growth this year and doing, what we need to do to make everything better for us, our public safety, and the community.
Very good. Any questions from
No.
gentlemen?
No. Nice
If you
job.
go through all those reports, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate it. I enjoy the report every year, just, we assume that everything's working smoothly when we don't hear anything, but to at least get an annual report's nice. And then I do have one comment.
Yes.
It's more of a comment, and it's
Yes.
more of internal.
Yes.
If anyone has to reach out to Renee, make sure you call the office and you don't call 911.
Correct.
Okay? So
Yes.
I know.
So just to clarify, so we went to a call tree for dispatch several years ago, or last year, actually, not several years ago. You can call any of the numbers to dispatch, 654-4431 or the 654-5563. When my voice comes on, you can listen to my options because I clearly say what you need to do to reach dispatch, or as soon as you hear my voice, you can just push 1 and it'll ring to dispatch. But yes, anything non-emergency,
Yeah.
please don't call 911.
Just a friendly reminder.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
You're welcome.
Isn't that like a misdemeanor or something?
Yes, that's what I thought. It is a criminal.
Okay, next, Rick Campbell with a highway update.
Good morning.
Morning, Rick.
I want to start off by thanking my truck drivers and everybody that works at the highway department for all their hard work so far this month. Everybody's done a great job. Everybody's kept a good attitude, and we've got the work done. So I wanted to thank all my personnel at the highway department.
We had a few more snows than in the past few winters, it feels like.
Yeah, a lot of them haven't had experience plowing the same snow over and over again.
Yeah.
I have the CCMG for 2025 that I'd like the commissioners to sign.
Okay.
You guys have a copy of that?
Yep,
I
we
got
seen
one
it.
right here.
We had seen it, so.
I also have brochures for bridge inspection, 2026 to 2029. We have to have a new bridge inspector, pick another bridge inspector, or renew it. So I brought the scoring sheets in the brochures for the commissioners, and I'd like to pick those up next commissioner meeting, February the 4th.
Okay.
And do you need a motion?
Yeah, well, we need a motion to enter into the engineering agreement with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert for the 2025 CCMG
Yeah.
program.
And I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 on that. We'll get it signed.
Also, February 4th meeting, we will also be picking a contractor for the Phase 2 of 2024 CCMG. That's all I got.
Okay. Any questions for Rick?
Nope.
No.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick. All right, next we have Liz Stitzel with area plan update. Good morning, Liz.
Morning, Liz.
Yep, frigid is a good description. I don't have a whole lot for you guys this morning. I do just have two items that I wanted to discuss, and these are actually, for Kevin, this will be new, but for the other two of you, these are repeats coming back up from maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago. But there's two houses that we had discussed. One in, I believe, Hillisburg, 8938 East Hillis Street, and the other down in Antioch, 3175 South State Road 39, both of which have been declared unfit and do not have solutions for septic, and both of which are on a condemnation track for that reason. You'd previously chosen to go ahead and issue a maximum fine of $250. Back on December 18th, we sent that notice of that bill to those two owners, and haven't gotten anything back, either way. So we've gone ahead and forwarded those to Tom's office. They're being placed as liens. And we're at a point where on each of these, and you don't necessarily have to handle them the same way as each other, your choices would either be to levy a second fine, which the ordinance allows you to pick between $250 and $500, or to go ahead and have us post a 10-day notice saying it's got to be taken care of, or we're going to start moving toward taking bids and getting it down. The one in Antioch has had no contact, and the owner is an out-of-state that owns a lot of property in a lot of places and is not traditionally, in the experience of either the city or ourselves, been terribly responsive. Normally, you just end up doing whatever you do, and it goes through the tax bill system for mowing and unsafe stuff. So I don't know that we expect to see a change there. The one in Hillisburg, as I think two of you would remember, does have an owner who's down in Indy, but he was going to try to get us some kind of plan on a timeline. We kind of told him, hey, if you've got a way to move forward, tell us what it is, and we'll try to work with whatever your schedule is as long as it's movement. And we have not received anything from him of any kind, neither by phone nor email, indicating a plan, whether reasonable or unreasonable. There's just been no contact. So I'm just at a point where I need to bring these back and find out what your pleasure is for the next step on each of them, whether you want to do that separately or together.
Okay. Thoughts?
Amazing that no response on them. I suspect we probably handle them individually because they're two different sort of problems.
I think so. I guess I would lean towards, rather than posting, let's just do the second fine. If I remember correctly, the individual for the Hillsburg one showed up,
He did.
and so,
And he said he'd get us a plan before.
and
Yeah.
that
This-
hasn't happened, but it did feel
Yeah.
like at least there's a
least he was
person
awake.
behind
Yes,
it to
correct.
try and hopefully
That's,
remedy the situation to make it functional. So, but I'm open, but I just don't think we should probably post for, condemnation yet at this point. Let's just continue to levy our fines until we have to further.
And
don't
both
know.
houses are vacant. I think when I'd come to you before, we had a situation where there were people in the one in Antioch that weren't supposed to be there. So that has been resolved. So just so that's out there, there's not an occupant in either of these at this point. So
do you feel like we need to bump up the fine or simply go with the $250 again and refine the same amount?
I'm okay bumping it up or staying.
Yeah,
500 is your max for a second warning.
That's
I would say for the Antioch one in particular,
kind of my
probably
thoughts
go to the
too.
maximum, since there's been no response and it's out of state. And then the other one, I would maybe have a little bit more leniency because there is an individual, and hopefully that'll
Yeah, maybe
trigger
wake him up.
a little
Action.
bit more. Yeah.
what number are you thinking for the other one? Not that you voted yet, but,
I'm thinking 500 and 250.
Yeah, that's what I would say. So,
So I'll make that motion that we proceed with a 500 on the one that's out of state and the one in Antioch, and then one at Hillisburg, go to 250 again and see if that helps either one of them.
okay. We will send a bill out for those, and if we don't get a response, then we'll send them to Tom for a lien and be back to talk to you again about it. I'm guessing it'll probably be a month to 6 weeks.
yeah.
Is that
So,
one motion for both of them then?
Yeah, he did
Yes.
one motion for both.
I'll second.
Second, all right, motion carries 3-0.
okay. Sorry, I got ahead of you.
No.
So, somehow I took that as fact too soon. So, all right, I think that's everything I had. I will, as usual, have an end of the year report. I just, was out of the office a good chunk here the first week of the year, and, just dealing with turnover stuff and management things and haven't gotten it done yet, but, should have that for you in the next few meetings.
Okay,
So,
very good.
all
Thank you.
right, thank you.
Okay, next we have old business. We have the Envoy invoices. I think there's 2 of them, correct? First one is for $11,504.50. And this is a draw against the architect services. And there remains about $1,400 on that balance to finish that line item out. And then the second one is for $5,000, and it's for architect services here at the courthouse. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2 invoices.
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Kevin.
Second.
Second by Bert. Carries 3-0 for those. Next, we have the Paul Philippi quarterly report, which has a applied local match of $73,248. Again, we do this quarterly, and we're just, the county's the pass-through for those funds to Paul Philippi for the transportation. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 on that. New business. We have 2 amendments to our PPA, which is our public-private agreement for the BOT of the courthouse and the annex. The first one is just a change of date for the annex, which changed the substantial completion date to May 20th of '25. So an update to that PPA. I'll entertain a motion to accept the change to substantial completion.
I'll move to accept it.
I
Motion.
have a second.
Second, all right, motion carries 3-0 for that one. And the next one is for the courthouse, and it moved $19,400 from one of the line items back into our owner contingency. So there was a line item that was under, and this puts the money
Moved it
in,
to-
yeah, in the owner contingency line now. So entertain a motion to accept that change.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion
Second.
by Kevin, second Bert. Motion carries 3-0 on that. Next, we have a credit card account agreement. I'm assuming did this come from your office, Britt, in terms of just needing some more clarity to have each office holder or individual that has a credit card sign something? Okay, so it's a agreement just outlining responsibilities, duties, and what can be utilized for a credit card if you receive one from Clinton County. So we're approving the generic credit card account agreement for
For
the
each
auditor's
individual.
office to utilize for officers to sign. So,
Move to approve, President sign.
okay.
I'll second.
All right, motion carries 3-0. So these will come back before us each time there is one. Is that correct, Britt?
I don't think so. I think Marcia just has them sign them and she keeps them. But
Okay.
do you want?
No, I just saw it had our signature, so we'll just sign it and then you guys will do it internally. Okay. That works. Next item, we have the Lucas Fire Agreement for the contract for extinguisher service and maintenance. It's a annual agreement, runs from January 1 to December 31st each year. And We have this in our packet, and it shows all of the extinguishers that we have and their locations. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the Lucas Fire Extinguisher contract.
Motion to have president sign to approve.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0. Okay, next, some of you who've been around a while will remember this. The commissioners had gotten away from it, and we decided to go back to it, to more of a structured liaison assignment for each department head with a certain commissioner, which would essentially is just kind of your first point of contact, day-to-day stuff, that type of thing, reach out. So Jerry will email it out. I'll kind of just go through it real quickly, and then we'll send it so everyone has a copy. So for 2025, Kevin will have archives, the assessor, Parkview, highway, recorder, and treasurer. Bert will have central dispatch, auditor, EMA, Board of Health, probation, and Veterans Affairs. And then I'll have area plan, clerk, coroner, EMS, sheriff's office, and surveyor. So we'll get this sent to everybody. Again, you feel free, if it's a larger thing, to email all three of us, as some of you have started to do over the last couple of years. That works well, but it's a day-to-day, and you need to talk to one of us, go through your liaison first, and then work to the rest of us. Okay, next we have our community service grant award applications, and so I'll read out the applications we received. We'll just take them under advisement, and then at our next meeting, we will do our awarding of those funds. So we have Coach Kids application for $12,000, the Crossing School application for $35,000, the SHARP program $10,000. Paul Philippi, this is for their senior sitter center, which is separate from their funding that we do as a local match. This is for $20,000. Healthy Communities, $15,000. The Learning Network, $12,024, and the Boys and Girls Club of Clinton County for $10,000. That total is $114,024, and we have $100,000 in our budget. So we'll work on individually kind of reviewing it, and then discuss where we want to award those. So those are the applications we received for 2025. Next item, we have a contract for independent services for the cleaning of the Board of Health with Champions Top Notch Cleaning. This is the contract that Tom had put in place that we looked into for any department that needed to utilize an independent contractor, just with the specifics. We obviously, some will remember, we went down the path of doing a collective countywide cleaning bid that came in very high. So we're now putting it back in each department's court, and the Board of Health has brought this to us. So it's for $650 per month, and I believe they have the money in their budget to cover this. So I'll entertain a motion to approve this contract with Champions Top Notch Cleaning.
I'll make the motion that we approve the contract with Champion Top Notch.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, motion carries 3-0 on that. That's it for new business. Do I have any department heads that would like to come up? Stephen, good morning.
Morning. Tom, do you want to talk on the Safe Haven Baby Box contract agreement?
No problem. So I reviewed the contract, and my only area of concern was that there was a paragraph that identified them but did not provide indemnification for the county back to them. And so they had, I think Stephen had emailed them, and he said the response was that normally that doesn't work because it could conflict with other sections of the agreement, which I said that's fine. And so I wrote an amendment that said, basically, independent of any other agreement here, that they shall indemnify and hold Clinton County, the agents, so on and so forth, identify us from any negligence or suits or damages and they said no.
Okay.
So they said that won't work. So I told Stephen, I said, look, for me, I'm always going to take the legal advice to say, look, if you're not going to do this, then I don't think we need to put ourselves in harm's way and risk of any type of liability that they're not going to hold themselves to the same standards as they're trying to hold us. And so that was my opinion. And I told Stephen that he wanted to bring it in front of you guys.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if I have I don't have an answer. Maybe they do right now. I'll have to process it. We'll think about it, reconsider it. I think all of Tom's points are valid.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, I agree.
They want us to be held accountable to a standard, but don't want. And as much as I believe having that is a great thing for the community, we always have to look out for our liability aspect of it too. So
Yep. I understand.
Let us consider it.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
I think that
Okay.
we need to hold them to they need to hold themselves to the same standards that we have.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
The only other thing that I would like to throw out for consideration is drafting a agreement for an independent contractor for maintenance for our ambulances. At this time, we don't have anything in place, and we've been utilizing an individual. I'll just say we're looking at other options for more consistent, reliable care of our vehicles. And so I would like for you guys to consider that. I don't know if you would want bids for oil changes, routine maintenance, or anything like that if that's necessary, or if we can just work on drafting something that would be beneficial for both us and diesel mechanic. So.
Okay. What do you think? Can we just utilize our
Absolutely.
template?
Yeah.
I mean, we may have to tweak the template, but I think the template's solid enough, and then just fill in the details.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess bring us what you're proposing that looks like, and then we can review it and go from there.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yep. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to commissioner reports. Commissioner Weaver,
I have none.
you have none? Commissioner Myers?
I was unable to go to I get my acronyms right, the planning council.
NCIRP
Yeah, right.
C, maybe, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
Too many letters for that one.
Yeah, and, but they are having, the IEDC is having a meeting, and I think they were promoting that, and I believe it's the 6th,
Okay,
February,
February 6th.
yeah.
So that'd be for our regional meeting with the
Yeah.
IEDC. Yep, yep.
And Jordan, if I could back up, I do
Yep.
have one just to
Yep.
mention.
We'll go in
Right.
reverse for a minute. Yep.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think that the email was sent to all of us in reference to Howard community and the health situation and our mental health situation and so forth. And regretfully, one of the companies has objected to the organizations coming together. And I actually spoke to that president who was objecting, and I understood last week that they were kind of going to drop their objection, but I got an email yesterday or the day before indicating that apparently it's still holding up the process at the state level. So I'm really not sure where that's at, but as everybody knows, we really need to put that together. So I intend to see if in fact it's been slowed down or not. But as far as having Jane Pauley and Howard Community and the other entity coming together, one of the companies wanted to bid on that program and so forth. Well, it's really not a whole lot that we can do. It's really driven by the state to a certain degree. So anyway, it's just typical.
Yep.
You know.
Interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully something happens
just-
positively for Clinton County out of that. Any other reports?
That's all. I'm sorry.
Okay. Only thing I have is we had announced our HR director position. We are taking applications. We will take those through tomorrow at noon, and then we will close the application window and start the interview process after that. So just wanted to make a public announcement in case there was any last minute individuals that wanted to get that in. Okay, we'll move on to our board business. We have claims from January 10th in the amount of $8,375.66. Claims from January 17th in the amount of $19,120.01. A biweekly from January 21st in the amount of $565,711.86. Court claims dated January 21st in the amount of $13,060.06. And then we had one additional here for lit public safety from the 21st for $278,011.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0 to approve the claims. Next, we have payroll from December 27th in the amount of $540,655.78.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion carries 3-0 to approve payroll. And last, we have our regular minutes from the first meeting of 25 on January 7th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0 for minutes. Our next meeting will be on February 4th. Is there any other business to come before the commissioners? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right,
Second.
thank you.